Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you're welcome. My name is Anita, Handmade Creation, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload a new tutorial to my channel. If you're a member, you're welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you two different ways on how to cut and sew a mermaid skirt step by step. This was a requested tutorial, so if this is something you want to make, keep on watching. First thing I did was to go ahead and fold my fabric right side facing right side. Then I went ahead and draw a straight line, which is going to be the guideline. And you want to make sure that whatever you have folded should be 1/4 of the hip, then plus some 5 extra inch. Okay, next now do now from that guideline I will measure from the waist to the hip depth, from the waist to the hemline. Then I'll just connect that part up, and I'm also going to come here, I'll connect it up. Then I'll go ahead and measure from the waist to the knee line. Don't forget that part is quite very important. You mark that up. Whatever you have from your knee line, you make sure you minus 1 inch from there. So I've just gone ahead and marked that up. Then I'm going to put 1/4 of the waist, round waist divided by 4, round hip divided by 4, and then you measure up whatever you have on your hip. You minus 1.5 inch from there. You mark it on the knee line. Okay, you can minus 1.5 inch or you minus 1 inch is good. Then after doing so, just go ahead and connect that up. After connecting that up, just go ahead and measure up whatever you have on the hip line. Then you're going to mark it at the hem line. Then you go ahead and add 3 extra inch. You can make it up to 10 inch, but don't make it too open because this is the front piece we are working on. After doing so, I'm going to go ahead. I'll be connecting it up like this. Once I'm done connecting that up, I'm going to go ahead and blend this part up here because I don't want it to be sharp. So all right, so I'll just blend that up. Then I'll come here, measure up whatever I have and divide it by 2, which is 9 inch. Divided by 2 is going to give me 4.5. You mark that up, then you go up at the side by 1 inch. Okay, after going up by the side by 1 inch, you're going to take the nipple to nipple. Mine is 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'll mark that up. Then I'm going to go down by 5 inch. Remember, it is normally 2 inch above your hip depth line. Okay, then I'll go out half inch both sides if you're going to be adding up a dart, but me, I will not be adding up a dart to the front piece of my skirt. Once I'm done doing so, I'm going to go ahead, I'll be marking my allowance of half inch. Then I'll go ahead and connect that up. After connecting it up, I'll be cutting that part. Once I'm done cutting that up, I will come here. I'm going to go up by half inch. You can choose to go up by 0.25 or you go up by half inch. Once I'm done going up, what I will do just to mark that part up, and I'm going to connect it all the way to this other side like this with a slap curve using my curve ruler, or you can use your straight ruler because this way is going to sit perfectly at your front piece whenever you stitch it and put it on. Okay, then I'll cut that part up. Then I'll be using this front piece to cut the back piece. What you want to do is just to go ahead again and fold your fabric, but this time around you make sure that you fold it 1/4 of your hip measurement, plus you can add 10 inch, you can add 20 inch depending on how fuller you want the back, the center back to be. What I have here is about 8 inch. Okay, what I have is about 8 inch. Remember, I say you can add 10, 15, 20, 50 depending on how fuller you want it to be. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is just to measure up whatever I have. Like I said, I have about 8 inch, or you can measure this part up here, then you just connect it up. But like I said, depending on how fuller you want it to be. Okay, so I'll be extending 8 inch from this part here. I'll go ahead and extend 10 inch. But before I do so, I'll need to draw the waistline, the hip line, the knee line. On the waistline, I'll be adding 1 inch. On the hip line, I'll be adding 1.5. On the knee line, half inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect that up. Why did we add 1.5 inch on the hip depth line? That's because we want the board to sit well when we put on the skirts. Now, what I'm going to do is, remember I said the more you add, the more fuller you have at this center back. So I'll go down here by 5 inch. You can just go down by 7 inch. Highest should be 7 inch. Okay, then I'm just going to connect it up with a straight line. Then this is what I'm going to do. I'll connect it all the way to that 5 inch. I went down like this, like you can see me doing. Okay, then now I'm just going to connect it up here with a straight line, and this is what I'm going to do. I'll just connect it all the way to this point like this with a straight line. This is the first way to cut this skirt, which is quite very easy and easy to understand. When I'm done cutting the boat skirt, you choose which one you really want to work on, which one you prefer. I'll go ahead and trim this part up because I don't really like the way it is looking. All right, so this is the first skirt. We'll move this aside. We're still going to be using this front piece to cut up the other front for the other skirt. Okay, now once we're done doing so, you just go ahead and fold your fabric right side facing right side, but remember that you should have 1/4 of your hip measurement plus 10 inch, depending on how fuller you want the skirt to be at the center back. That is what I earlier said before. So I've just gone ahead and fold my fabric right side facing right side, and then I'll go ahead now. I'm going to just measure up whatever I have here, which is about 9.5. I will just mark that point up, connect it up with a straight line like this. Connect. I'll go up from the from the knee line by 2 inch. Okay, by 2 inch from the center back. Then I'll just connect this part up like that. Then I'm going to come down by 3 inch. I'll come down by 3 inch. After coming down by 3 inch, I'll just go ahead and connect it all the way to that 3 inch. Look at what I did there, right? I hope you really understand. The same thing we did for the other skirt. This is actually what we are doing for this other skirt. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to cut that up, but remember you're not going to cut everything up. So you want to come here on the knee line, go out by 1/2 inch, here by 1.5, and here by 1 inch, like we did for the other skirt. We're just repeating the same thing here, but the cutting is just slightly different. Once I'm done doing so, I'll just go ahead and make sure I connect it up and cut that up. After cutting, we're going to go ahead and cut up the waist band. Okay, so looking at what I have here, I have in a kind of you see the shape of the back, right? If you want it, you can just leave yours like this, but I don't want to leave mine like this. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a curve like this all the way to this point. You see what I'm doing, right? That's what I've done there. So I'll just give it that curve, then I'm going to trim off the other excess that I don't really need. All right, like this. This is what I have. Now we're going to go ahead and cut up the band for the two skirts. You can see the difference is really clear. The band for the two skirts, and then we'll pin everything up together and we'll be stitching that up. Make sure that you mark up the knee line, the hip line, which are very important. I'll be pinning the pieces up. I'll just go ahead and place right side facing right side of the skirt. I'll be pinning them up. Look at what I'm doing here, so you know, go ahead and make a mistake when you are pinning yours up. After pinning up the center back, I will take now the center front. I'll be putting the side to side. I'll be pinning them up together. All right, I'll also do the same thing to the other side as well. Remember, if you're adding a dart to your skirt, you have to stitch up your dart first before joining this the side seams. Now pin that part up. I'm going to pin this other one as well. Once I'm done doing so, I will take it to the machine. I'm going to stitch that up. I'll be leaving the zipper allowance open. You need to leave up the zipper allowance open, because if you don't leave the zipper allowance, there's no way you're going to put on the skirt. Once I'm done stitching that up, I will go ahead and flip it to the right side. Then you press that up. Make sure you notch the knee line, those curvy parts. You can see the difference is really clear, right? It's very, very clear. I'll be adding up the waistband to it, which is about just 2 inch. I'll fold it up. I'll end up with 1 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'll be stitching that up. So after stitching that up, I went ahead and pressed this up. This is the first cut. You can see it is more like for wedding skirts, wedding wells, and all those things like that, which is quite very long at the back. So like I said, you're going to choose which one you want to work on. You can see the difference is really clear. The first one came out very well, and the fullness too is there, but not that much. Like I said, the more you add, the more fullness you get at the back. Look at this one too. If you see the way it is very, very full, when you really put it on, that's when you see the beauty of the skirt. So I hope you find this helpful. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. I hope to see you some other time. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next DIY. Bye.